What's going on, Wolves and Warriors? My name's Jay Stewart, and this is the Better Body Academy podcast, the #1 show for those looking to permanently overhaul their mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. We banish the fitness industry BS and replace it with science-backed strategies proven through countless client transformations. In the Better Body Academy, we help busy men and women around the world get unstuck and back into momentum so they start feeling strong and sexy again. Our mission is to transform 1 million lives, and you, my friend, could be next. And on that note, let's get straight into today's show. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast, the podcast that you come to if you're sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. And guys, I've got a banger of an episode for you today. Now, normally on Mondays, what we do is do a live inside of our Better Body Academy, and we discuss a mindset topic. However, this topic, I think, has enough value in it that I wanted to bring this external. So the video's really got two purposes. Number one is to hit the people that are currently on the fence and considering a transformation and touring, throwing about what's important to them. It's also going to be very, very helpful as an endorsement to the people that are already inside of our Better Body Academy investing in themselves. We're gonna talk about this idea that you cannot put a price on your health. Okay, the phrase, you can't put a price on your health. Now, if you can hear Ocean's having a scream in the background, it's because it's 11 o'clock here at night in somewhere in Sardinia, wherever we are. But I want to make sure that I keep obviously showing up for my clients. So let's go. Many people kind of say this phrase. They say it almost like g'day or goodbye. Oh, you can't put a price on your health, right? So who's heard it before? Who knows this? Who agrees with it? If we were to take a poll of the population and ask them, do you agree with the statement that you can't put a price on your health? Do you agree with this statement? I reckon we'd have some, what do you reckon? Comment below if you're watching live. I reckon probably 95% of people would say, yeah, I agree with that statement. You can't put a price on your health for sure. So what you are basically saying is that health is invaluable, right? And it's worth more than anything that money can possibly buy. Would you agree with that statement? Because that's really at the core of you can't put a price on your health. This is really interesting, this phrase, because if 95% of us agree with it, although the idea is really good in principle, in truth, it's not what most of us practice, okay? In fact, most of us don't put health on the priority list until we are forced to do it through some ill health diagnosis. Let's take, for example, the most obvious target for improving our health. That's maintaining our weight. So current numbers indicate that in Australia and the US, two of the most overweight nations in the world, 67% of the population is considered overweight or obese. 67%. Now in Canada and the UK, it's around 62%. So this means that in 2/3 of the Western world, we are carrying more weight than we should. So I think there's a bit of a kind of strange irony here, or a strange paradox here, that 95% of us would say that our health is priceless, or that we can't put a price on it, but only about 30% of us are of a healthy weight. What are we missing here? Is it that we don't actually recognize weight as being a major contributor in the grand scheme of things? Like, is it actually that big a deal? Or is it that we do understand, but we prioritize more immediate risks, like running out of money, for example, so we prioritize work, or like feeling like we're neglecting our kids, so we prioritize being a parent. I have a mentor, and he says that neglect of our health is a combination of 4 things. Number one, we think that getting healthy is really, really expensive. Number 2, we think that our ability to stick to what we say that we're going to do on a weight loss transformation is not there. We think that it's going to be too hard and require too much sacrifice, or we think that it's just going to take too much time, right? And we think that we are just too busy to get this done. I personally think it's a combination of all of these things, and I want to pull this apart. We're going to start at firstly addressing the idea that being overweight is not really a problem, okay? Let's go into that, because actually it's a big problem. I mean, we might sort of say to ourselves, well, you know, a little bit of fat around the belly, like does that actually matter that much? This is actually a great question. Health is probably a very big umbrella term, isn't it? So it includes aspects, not just the physical, it includes aspects like mental and emotional and spiritual health and sexual health and a lot more. So your version of health is probably a little bit different to mine, and that's fair. I do, however, believe that physical health is one of the biggest, at least, components of saying I am healthy. Yeah? And maybe the most important. And if you are wanting to be healthy physically, maintaining a good weight for your height and age must be a focus. So would it be possible to be healthy and be overweight? Yeah, I think so. But would it be additionally beneficial to lose some of that weight? Of course it would. Here are 10 conditions where excess weight is a primary risk factor, and a quick sentence on why. The two most common: diabetes, where insulin, essentially the hormone, just becomes completely inefficient when you're overweight. Heart disease, because you have higher fat and sugar in the blood. Stroke, check this out. A review in 2010 of 25 studies with almost 2.3 million participants found that being obese increased the risk of stroke by 64%. Now, so that's not a study of like 2 people. 2.3 million people showed that being obese increases your risk of stroke by 64%. By the way, if you're looking for a definition of obese, the general way that we do this is to work off the BMI scale, and that is a BMI of 30 or more. Number 4, sleep apnea. When you have essentially fat on your neck, it causes your airways to shrink. You will notice that when you go through a transformation, one of the best things that happens is you actually start to sleep incredibly well. High blood pressure, because your heart and lungs have to work so much harder. Liver disease, gallbladder disease, some cancers, pregnancy complications, depression. I could go on, but there is a direct link. So if 2/3 of the population is overweight, is it just because we're kind of naive about how important being overweight is? What do you guys think? Or is it that there's some other points of friction that stop people from commencing a transformation journey? I definitely think there's some other points of friction. So let's go through them. Number 1, getting healthy is expensive. Okay, this is my favorite one. There is a common kind of complaint about healthy, and it depends on what type of intervention you're going to take. But there would be a proportion of people that are just flat out living week to week. And for those people, I'm not talking about those people when I'm talking about the next comment. When the majority of people say that getting healthy is expensive, I ask them to consider looking at value, not price. Okay? I love the phrase, good things are cheap, and cheap things are rarely good. For example, Ferraris are really expensive, right? But that's because you're getting a top-of-the-line machine. A second-hand Volvo is cheap. Well, that's because you're getting a second-hand Volvo. Fresh produce might be more expensive than McDonald's and KFC. But when you consider what you're getting, let me ask you, does it represent a valuable investment or not? When you're calling something expensive, you need to ask yourself, compared to what? When you invest in takeaway, you're investing in foods that will more likely contribute to you being overweight and getting ill health. That doesn't sound like a very good investment. When you invest in fresh produce, and I'm not talking about fancy pants, whole food stuff. I mean good, healthy foods. You're investing in you. Getting healthy is expensive but you don't need to go. It's seen as expensive, but you don't need to go to the fanciest gyms in town. Sometimes I've trained at gyms that are like $35, $40 a month. They're the best gyms I've ever trained at. What a great investment. When you're calling something expensive, you have to ask yourself, compared to what? I've seen guys, and maybe you were one, at some point in time, who will regularly drop $300 on a bag and double that on booze for the weekend, complain that getting healthy is hard and expensive. They've got subscriptions to Amazon, Netflix, Disney, and the sports channel. They spend $250 on a pair of shoes and complain that the cost of getting healthy is expensive. I'm not saying don't have a good time, but what gets expensive in the long run is medical bills and medical costs to battle complications that require long-term treatment. That's expensive. Again, cost is a relative concept. Here is the truth. You spend money on things that you value. Simple. You pay attention. This creates leverage on yourself. The more expensive something is, the more you need to commit to making sure that you made a good investment. It creates leverage on yourself. If you say that you can't put a price on your health, well then abide by that and start looking at value, not cost, of the things that you're investing in. Number 2 is we doubt that we can stick to it, right? When we started transformation, we're kind of like, oh, do I think I'm going to be able to do this? We doubt our follow through. We've tried 1,000,000 times before. Keto, man shake, that how to get abs in 6 days PDF that you downloaded, nothing worked. Like, what's the common theme here? You're trying to hack your way to the outcome rather than learning how to solve this forever. And doing it by yourself rarely works. Here's why. When you start, you're going to be super motivated because you're about to change your life, right? It's a shiny object, and so you're good to go. But when things get hard and your willpower runs out, what do then? You give up. And that's not because you're useless. It's because it's bloody human nature. The idea of you transforming yourself is a big idea. And you need support and accountability, not because you're useless, but because you're a human. When you start the journey, the crowd around you will be cheering loudly. And then after a few weeks, they'll be gone. They'll melt away and it'll be you versus the world. If you join a program with a supportive community built around it, you'll have much more leverage to get yourself up off the canvas when you do fail, and you will, because you're human. Inside of the BBA, if someone posts that they're struggling and they need help with something, they'll get 20 other guys or girls and a coach coming back within a few hours to assist them. That is the power of accountability. There's a number of BBA members watching this. Comment down below if this is true or not. The only way to flip the script on your self-doubt around this is being able to be surrounded by great people that stop you from falling through the cracks. If you say that you can't put a price on your health, then maybe you need to consider the value of a good coach and a good community. Number 3, this is a big episode, guys. I'm fired about this topic. We think it's too hard and requires too much sacrifice. I'm not going to pretend that being transformed is easy. Like a 20 kilo overweight person wanting to lose that's tough. But let me ask you a question. If you knew, guaranteed, that you'd lose 20 kilos if you put the blood, sweat, and tears in, would you do it? If you knew you would lose 20 kilos, if you put the effort in, you would get the return on the investment. If you knew that, would you do it? Well, if not, then that's more about how you value your health, and I can't really help you there. But if yes, we can help you. I always say to people who ask me about joining the academy that we have 100% success rate for the guys and girls that stick to the plan. It's true. There are people that actually come into the Better Body Academy and they don't win because they don't stick to the plan. They pay for it, they pay for a coach, and then they deviate from the coach's advice. It doesn't really make any sense. Your transformation journey is going to take sacrifice. It is going to take sacrifice, but you rarely need to give up on the things that truly make you happy. Yes, your transformation will require hard work, but if it helps you drive weakness out of your body and your mind. Is that a worthwhile exercise? What if I laid down a big idea? Okay? If you had a weight loss goal, I can help you fix this forever, not just until the end of the year. This is because inside of the BBA, we do the hard work in giving you the tools to solve the problem. This example of this video is what happens daily inside of the Better Body Academy. It'll be hard, but in hindsight, not actually as hard as you thought. If you rate health as an invaluable state to have, then the hard work will be the pathway for you to get there. Guys, I've got one more point. We think, number 4, we think that it will take too much time and we're just all too busy. I don't have time is the number 1 reason for not starting a transformation. Would you agree? And it's probably something that we've all used. But in this argument that, you can't put a price on your health, what people don't realize is that time is a currency. I can tell you straight up because I spent 7 years procrastinating getting a business coach to teach me how to market my services. I spent 7 years. So I'm the guru of procrastination, and I'll wholly admit it. That's why I can speak about time being a currency. Both time and money are valuable. People overhype the time it takes to get healthy. Let's talk about weight loss. At my house, on average, whether it's myself or more likely my missus preparing, it takes about 20 minutes to prepare. So if we cooked 7 days a week, that's 7 times 20 minutes, or about 2 hours. But hang on, you're going to cook anyway. So whether you're cooking shit food or good food, you're going to have to invest that time anyway. Or let's say you're currently eating out 3 times a week. So you're going to stop that and you're going to start cooking at home those 3 times a week. That's an extra hour out of your week. 1 hour. Let's discuss the exercise. I'm going to keep this really, really simple. You can achieve weight loss in 3 hours of exercise per week if you nail your nutrition. 3 1-hour sessions or 6 half-an-hour sessions, or you can break it up into as small chunks as you want. You just need to know how to eat properly. I'm not saying that finding the time is simple, and it will likely require you to find 3 hours from somewhere else. That's a matter of prioritization. As one of my clients, Erin here, says, healthy food is simple, quick, and easy. It's not MasterChef that requires 3-hour cooking sessions. If you are saying that you can't put a price on your health is invaluable, but you can't find 5 hours a week, then you're so damn productive elsewhere, then I can't help. If you're just so flat strapped with your productivity and you can't find 5 hours, well, then I definitely can't help. Let's put these ideas together, okay? And finish this podcast up. Why do you think there are people that are willing to spend $25,000 on liposuction and a tummy tuck? It's pretty simple, actually. There's no work involved. You fall asleep and you wake up thin. You'll be sore for 2 weeks, but you'll definitely get thin for $25K. But we've all heard of the lottery winners that won $100 million and were bankrupt 5 years later. That's because you can't shortcut the process. When you commit to a transformation and act as though you can't actually put a price on your health, and you don't just spray it out and say it without any actual commitment to that idea, you'll focus on a mindset change, not just the physical, and you'll win. Your transformation will inspire those around you, and you will in turn feel bloody amazing. To those that are inside of our academy, or to those that are external to our academy and have done it by themselves, I really, really commend you. But today I just wanted to come live with this episode and discuss this idea, which I'm sick of hearing. You kind of hear it over and over and over again. You never know what you've got until you lost it. Maybe you lack the self-awareness to actually realize in the moment that you are spending your time on the wrong things. Oh, you know, there's nothing as valuable as your health. Okay, well, if you actually believe that, then how about start aligning your actions around that core idea? I'm going to leave it on that note, guys. A big topic to start the week. If you're inspired by this podcast, if you're getting value from the podcast, guys, feel free to go to Apple, leave a review. I would love you to do that. It gets it done before the world wakes up. I love that, Ez. Guys, this has been the Better Body Academy podcast, the podcast that you come to if you're sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. I'll see you in the next episode. Wolves and Warriors, thank you so much for tuning in. If this podcast is hitting the mark for you and giving you the confidence to start your own personal journey, I want you to hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at jstewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy. I want to give you the tools to permanently overhaul your mind and body without dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Our mission is to achieve 1 million lives transformed, and you, my friend, could be next. So hit me up on Facebook or head over to my Instagram at jstewart_BetterBodyAcademy and DM me with the words Better Body Academy, and we can have a chat about whether we can help you with your transformation goals.